Hi, this is Kristen here. Welcome to another process video. And today I am working on day 15 of 31 Days of Cut Files. And I'm also playing along with Iron Crafter that's hosted by Tara over on the Paper Snob. And I will include the information down below. So the Iron Crafter this month, our challenge was to use flowers. So I knew I was going to mesh both the cut file challenge together with the Iron Crafter just because sometimes I would love to sit down and do two layouts, but I sometimes combining the two. It also, I feel like, helps you to kind of get your creative juices flowing because you kind of are doing things that you normally wouldn't do. So anyway, so I decide to pull out Pretty Little Studios. Some of this is Love is Kind, some of this is You Are My Sunshine. I feel like both really worked well together, so I've actually kind of combined them. I had kind of gotten underway with this because I have so much ephemera, as you can see off to the left-hand side, that I kind of wanted to sort through it and kind of get like a game plan going. A lot of time I sit down, I don't have much of a game plan at all. Typically, I usually don't have much of a game plan at all. So anyways, so I'm trying to figure out how I want to lay the photo and the cut file out to where I can work the flowers around it. I decided I kind of like the flowers arching behind the rainbow. And so I decided to move the pictures down here and then start to kind of make decisions around getting the initial kind of idea down. So I had pulled out the Try to Be a Rainbow in Someone's Cloud as my title. And the reason for that is, so this is a couple photos of my daughter, and sensitive subject, I had my two sons, and then we wanted to try for the girl. And so I had gotten pregnant and then ended up miscarrying. So she was our rainbow baby. And so I thought with the rainbow cut file and then with that saying, I thought that it would be perfect to document a couple photos of her. So these were her newborn photos while we were in the hospital. So we were actually getting ready to get discharged, so I had her in her little going home outfit, which obviously was very girly. So anyway, so I decided I'm gonna arch the rainbow with these florals, and I think that kind of helps to soften it a little bit. And so I'm just trying to kind of decide if I think at this point I was kind of like, do I paint the cut file, because obviously like the sun was blending into the background, but I kind of wanted to get my ideas kind of like solidified as to where kind of pieces were going to go before I kind of made any final decisions with that. So I do want to tuck this little cloud in behind here. And then I was like, maybe not, because it was blending in so much. But I do have that guy does come back, and you will see my, what I do so that I can get that worked in. I pull in this cute little sun down at the bottom. And then I really like this banner piece placed up underneath the title. And see, then I'm like, oh, I really like this cloud guy, so he's coming back in. So, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, just leave it there, leave it kind of in an area. But I had tucked it back in to all the ephemera, so then I had to kind of go back and find it. This rainbow was a cut apart, so I am going to work that in. So at this point, I did decide I wanted to go ahead and paint the cut file. And so I'm starting off with this Shimmers paint. And I did not catch the color. I held it up, but I do end up adding, the color I do know, I think it's Butter Believe It or something like that on top of this. So this is what I'm going to paint the sun with. And it's a real, the paint is beautiful. It's really kind of like has like a lot of glitter to it. But once I got it painted on, I realized like a lot of the yellows and the paper were kind of like a bright yellow. And when I got this yellow down, it was kind of a more muted yellow, I guess. And so I do end up coming in with that Butter Believe It. I think that's what it's called. And I believe that color was in their May kit. And so you will see, and I do that off screen. I had kind of made like a real quick decision on that. So I had forgotten to turn on the camera to show myself painting it. So you will see that the sun does kind of change color. So this is before I had added that. This color is also a Shimmers paint, and it's called Pinking of You. And so I obviously would have painted this before I had backed the cut file, but this was kind of like, you know, when I had backed the cut file, I kind of had like a little bit of a game plan, but not a full game plan. Oh, the paint is called Stay Golden, so I finally did get a shot of that. And so I keep looking at these clouds, and I'm like, what is up with these clouds? Why are they crookedy? Why do they look like the way that they do? And all of a sudden, I don't know why I didn't realize it. I was like, the rainbow is not meant to be like, you know, even. It's meant to be higher at one point. So I'm like, oh no. So I've built kind of my whole layout around that. I mean, it's like a minor adjustment, but it is an adjustment that I have to make. So you can see I have pulled that cloud back in. And so my remedy so that you could actually see it was to just go around the edges with Distress ink. And I think that was in Broken China. And so here I'm just trying to figure out if I can get things moved around to where I can have the cut file be the correct way that it's supposed to be. However, my problem is over on the right hand side, I have to make sure that that yellow arch of the rainbow is covered, because when I was backing it, so I normally am somebody that will put glue on the cut file and then slap it down on top of whatever I'm backing it on and then fussy cutting it. Well, because I was doing 3 different papers and it was the arches, I was like, that's going to be kind of tough to like fussy cut all this. So what I did was I flipped the image over onto the back of the cardstock, traced it so that way you wouldn't see my pencil line, and then cut it out and then backed it. Well, the problem being is I didn't realize I was doing it. I had cut it out on part of the branding strip part of it. So you could see that kind of sticking up at the bottom there. So I do pull in this cloud. Initially thought I was going to use that cloud to cover that oopsie up. And then I end up finding this, every cloud has a silver lining, and decide I'm going to put that there instead. So that's why that is now there. And then I thought maybe a little banner piece would kind of help up here, so then that way it wouldn't look so kind of empty. And so I cut off the end of it just in that way I could get it to set how I want it. Now I went ahead and backed the whole cut file up in foam and then adhered it down. I don't know if I did that off camera. Honestly, I got to yip-yapping and honestly was not paying any attention to what I was doing. And so here are a couple close-up shots. I think it turned out really pretty. I know it's kind of a busier layout, but you know, I feel like sometimes you do simple layouts, sometimes you do busy layouts, and you know, felt like it was a lot of fun, and it turned out really pretty. And so here are a few close-up shots. I appreciate you coming by to watch another process video.